Faith is the quiet trust that gently settles in our hearts, often unnoticed by the world around us. It's the silent conviction that even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming, there is a greater purpose at work. Faith whispers to us in the stillness, reminding us that we are not alone, and that every moment holds the possibility of hope and renewal. It is the belief that there is more to life than what we see with our eyes, that beyond the horizon of our understanding lies a world shaped by love, meaning, and possibility. Faith invites us to look beyond the surface, to trust in what cannot be measured or explained. It's hope that shines in darkness, a light that refuses to be extinguished even when shadows gather. In our darkest hours, faith becomes the gentle flame that keeps us moving forward, illuminating the way when all else seems lost. Faith guides us when the path is unclear, when each step feels uncertain and the destination is hidden from view. It gives us the courage to keep walking, trusting that every twist and turn has meaning, even if we cannot see it yet. Faith isn't about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It's about embracing the unknown with an open heart, willing to accept that some mysteries are meant to be lived rather than solved. It is about trusting in the one who does have the answers, surrendering our worries and fears to a higher wisdom, and believing that we are cared for even when we cannot see the full picture. The story of the Roman centurion is a powerful testament to this truth. Despite his position and authority, he recognized his own limitations and placed his trust in something greater than himself. In Galilee, where Jesus walked and taught, the air was thick with expectation and longing. People from all walks of life gathered, drawn by the promise of hope and the possibility of miracles. His message of love and hope drew people from every background, rich and poor, powerful and humble. We'll journey to Capernaum, a place where faith and history meet, to witness a remarkable encounter. There we'll see an encounter that shows the incredible power of faith, a faith that transcends boundaries, expectations, and even doubt. This is not just a story of miraculous healing, but a story of transformation, of hearts opened and lives changed by the simple act of believing. It is the story of a heart humble enough to believe without seeing, to trust in the unseen and accept grace with gratitude. When we approach Jesus with trust, with open hands and honest hearts, we discover that faith is not about certainty, but about relationship, a connection that brings peace and strength. He is always ready to listen and act, meeting us where we are and turning even the smallest seed of faith into something extraordinary. In the bustling town of Capernaum, where Roman authority was a daily reality, a centurion stood as a symbol of discipline and power. His presence commanded respect, and his word was law among both his soldiers and the townspeople. Yet behind the stern exterior and polished armor, there was a man whose heart beat with a quiet, unexpected kindness. Beneath the weight of his armor and the expectations of his rank, the centurion carried a deep sense of empathy. He was not just a leader of men, but a man who noticed the suffering of those around him, even those considered beneath his station. When one of his most trusted and beloved servants fell gravely ill, the centurion's concern was not just that of a master for his servant, but of a friend for someone he cared about deeply. The illness struck suddenly, leaving the servant weak and near death, and the centurion's worry grew with each passing day. Unlike many of his rank, who might have dismissed a servant's suffering, he saw his servant as a person worthy of dignity and love. He sat by the bedside, offering comfort and hope, refusing to abandon someone who had served him faithfully. The centurion's empathy drove him to seek help beyond the limits of his own authority. He realized that neither his power nor his wealth could save the one he cared for. In his desperation, he searched for answers outside the world he knew. Swallowing his pride, he reached out to a Jewish teacher, Jesus, whose reputation for compassion and healing had spread throughout the region. This act was remarkable, as it meant crossing cultural and social boundaries that most Romans would never dare to cross. The centurion's story, then, is not one of military might or conquest, but of love and humility. It begins with a simple, powerful act of caring for another human being. His compassion opened his heart to the possibility of a miracle, and his willingness to seek help showed a rare vulnerability. He dared to hope for something greater than himself, trusting that love could bridge even the widest divides. In this moment, The centurion's actions remind us that love and compassion connect us all, no matter our rank, background, or beliefs. It is these qualities that truly define our humanity. By choosing to act out of love, the centurion made himself vulnerable, embracing humility in the face of uncertainty. He set aside his pride, opening himself to hope and the possibility of grace. Soon he would place all his hope in Jesus' mercy, trusting that compassion and faith could bring about a miracle where power could not. Hearing Jesus was in town, the centurion's hope was ignited. Aware of tensions between Romans and Jews, he sent Jewish elders to ask Jesus for help. The elders pleaded, praising the centurion's kindness. He had even built them a synagogue. Jesus agreed to go, moved by genuine need. As they neared the centurion's house, his humility deepened. He sent friends with a message that would reveal the depth of his faith. The centurion's journey was marked by respect, humility, and a growing trust in Jesus. This moment would lead to one of the most powerful declarations of faith in the Gospels. The soldier's humility was not yet complete. As Jesus drew near to the centurion's home, the Roman officer did not come out to meet him in person. Instead, he sent his friends ahead with a message that revealed the depth of his humility and respect. The centurion, a man of authority and power, recognized something extraordinary in Jesus, something that made him pause and reflect on his own position. "Lord, I am not worthy for you to enter my home." These words, spoken through his friends, carried a weight of sincerity and self-awareness. The centurion understood the significance of inviting a Jewish teacher into a Gentile's house, and he did not want to cause discomfort or break sacred customs. Despite his high rank and the respect he commanded among his peers, the centurion saw himself as unworthy before Jesus. He recognized that true greatness was not found in titles or status, but in humility before the divine. He respected Jesus' customs and holiness, not wanting to cause offense or overstep boundaries. His actions showed a deep sensitivity to the beliefs and traditions of others, and a willingness to honor them. The centurion's humility teaches us that true faith begins when we recognize who God is and who we are in relation to Him. It is in acknowledging our own limitations that we open ourselves to the possibility of grace. The centurion made no demands of Jesus. He did not insist on his own way or try to leverage his authority. Instead, he placed his trust entirely in Jesus' grace and power, believing that a word from him would be enough. He openly acknowledged his own limitations and recognized Jesus' divine authority. This act of humility was not weakness but a profound strength, a willingness to submit to something greater than himself. This moment marked a turning point in the story. The centurion's humility and faith set the stage for a remarkable declaration, one that would be remembered for generations as an example of true belief. The centurion's understanding of Jesus went deeper than most. He saw beyond the surface, recognizing the authority and compassion that set Jesus apart from any other leader he had known. His insight was not based on religious background or tradition, but on a genuine recognition of who Jesus was. The centurion was ready for a miracle, not because he believed he deserved it, but because he trusted in Jesus' power and mercy. His faith was rooted in humility, and it was this humble trust that opened the door to the extraordinary. The centurion's message continued, "Just say the word and my servant will be healed." He believed Jesus' word alone was enough, no need for a visit or ritual. Drawing from his own experience with authority, he explained, "I say go, and my soldiers go." He recognized Jesus' authority over sickness, just as he had authority over his men. The centurion's insight was profound. He saw Jesus' power as absolute. His faith was simple, direct, and complete. He trusted that distance was no obstacle for Jesus. This is the essence of faith, trusting God's word and authority over every circumstance. The centurion's belief was pure and unwavering. When Jesus heard the centurion's words, he was amazed. He turned to the crowd and said, "I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel." This was a powerful statement. True faith isn't about background or status, but the heart's trust in God. The centurion, an outsider, demonstrated the faith Jesus sought. He didn't need proof, he simply trusted Jesus' authority. This moment encourages anyone who feels like an outsider. God's kingdom is open to all who believe. The centurion's faith was humble, compassionate, and unwavering. Jesus held him up as an example for others. God sees the heart, and it is faith that matters most. The centurion's story is a reminder that anyone can approach God with trust. Jesus honored the centurion's faith by healing the servant from afar. He said, "Go, as you have believed, so let it be done for you." The miracle happened instantly. No touch, no ritual, just the power of Jesus' word. The healing confirmed the centurion's belief. Jesus' authority knows no limits. This story reminds us that God's power is not confined by distance or circumstance. When Jesus commands, creation obeys. The centurion's faith was rewarded with a miracle. The servant, once near death, was made whole in a moment. This act of healing was a direct result of humble, unwavering faith. Jesus' word is enough to bring life and restoration. The centurion's trust was proven true. The messengers returned to find the servant completely healed. The house, once filled with sorrow, was now filled with joy. The centurion's faith had been rewarded in the most incredible way. This was more than physical healing. It was a powerful affirmation of faith. Love, humility, and faith worked together to unlock the miracle. The story is a perfect illustration of how we are to approach God. No situation is too desperate, no person too insignificant for God's notice. The healing is a promise. Jesus hears our prayers and honors our faith. His authority can bring wholeness to the most broken places. This story calls us to believe and trust in God's miraculous power. The centurion's story is a timeless lesson of hope and humility. True strength is found in recognizing our need for God. His example encourages us to lay down pride and approach God with childlike trust. God's love is for everyone. No one is turned away. Jesus celebrated the centurion's faith as a shining example. No matter our background, we are welcome in God's family. If you're facing the impossible, remember the centurion's simple, powerful faith. Trust that Jesus has authority over your circumstances. His love is constant, His strength perfect in our weakness. Let this story inspire you to believe, love, and walk humbly with God.